What an intro that was for you guys. But everybody, this is your favorite rocker or fellow rocker, ex-rocker man X here, back with another video. And it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so I should have had this recorded hours ago to release really for you guys to later today at noon. But I figured I might as well go ahead and record it now and get it over with so I don't do it in the morning. Everybody's asleep in the house, so fuck it. But yeah, my SmackDown review for week for 11/7/14. And again, everything you guys, and if you guys are watching my videos, you rockers, everything you need to know is down in the video, down in the description. If you guys missed me saying it, the links, or not the links, the match range usually down in the description, and my Facebook, my Twitter's down in the description too. So that's everything you probably need to know is down in the description. But overall, anyway, my SmackDown review for 11/7/14. But the first match of the night, the Usos, and excuse me, I don't have anything to drink with them like I usually do, so if my throat, I start to fuck up and talking, then you know why. But the first match of the night, the Usos versus Stardust and Goldust for the Tag Team Championships inside the Steel Cage. Now, obviously, I can say Stardust and Goldust won. Stardust and Goldust won and retained the titles. And really, the fucked up part with this thing is, not Raw, but SmackDown this week, I really didn't have that many problems with it, other than per se that to me, on Raw they did repeat superstars, and this week they did a repeat match type. Now, if you ask me, that there's a trend going on there, but who knows. But anyway, as I said, Usos were Stardust and Goldust first match night, Tag Team Championships, Steel Cage. Obviously, Stardust and Goldust won to retain the tag team titles. But here's the thing. Even though neither teams are really main event teams per se, really, this match seemed more like a main event match over the actual main event match. Now, don't ask me why. Maybe because I'm biased a little bit too. But that's just my opinion. But overall, too, with the rest of this match, being locked inside the cage really fit both really fit both styles for both teams as well. And on top of that, there's plenty of exciting moments during this match, or at least to me. For example, the ending, because what happened was, of course, one of the Usos superplexed Goldust, then the other Uso did the Uso splash to Goldust, and that was probably a mistake, because then from there, out of nowhere, Stardust just came in. He did a roll-up pin, which, honestly, roll-up pins, they seem to be trending a lot in this day and age, too. But not really complaining about that. It's just, he came, like I was saying, he came out of nowhere, did it, literally, I found it funny how he just grabbed him from after Uso splash and rolled up and won. Honestly, I have absolutely no problems with this match. It kept me entertained. It kept me interested. Unlike most of the matches do half the time, but really, this match, I give a 5.0. So, or not 5.0, but a 5-star rating. That's really all I gotta say about the first match tonight. And by the way, if this review is shorter, it's just because how late it is, and I'm just wanting to kind of get it done. So if it's rushed, it's rushed. If it sucks, it sucks. Oh well, I might talk more later, but the SmackDown wasn't really that pumped, usually, if that's the way of putting it. But then we have the Kane Authority, quote-unquote, promo, as I say. But as I always say about any Authority promo in this day and age or whatever, it did well setting up the Team Authority versus Team Cena at Survivor Series, so nothing else to say on that. But here's the thing, as I said, with the repeat matches, and I don't understand why they did that this week, and why they did Monday Night on Raw, where they had the dual superstars, and this week, of course, they had the dual match. Same one for an opener and a closer. But anyway, this led to Kane setting up Ziggler versus himself inside the steel cage. Now, really, I'll get more on the match later, so you don't have to worry about that. But with Cesaro coming out and saying, hey, why don't you recruit me for Team Authority? And to be honest, I actually sat there and thought about this of I probably heard it off someone else, so it's probably what caused me to think this. But I honestly thought about Cesaro being on Team Authority before he actually did that. Maybe because it was a predictable, obvious choice, but you never know, especially considering he's heel. And you figured, of course, the heels would be with the heel group and the faces would be with the face group. So there you go. But from there, too, it led to pretty much Kane saying, oh, we weren't thinking about you, we were thinking more about your opponent right now. And of course Ryback came out. Well, overall, though, and that leads me to this saying here, just in general. Now, Cesaro versus Ryback, and why did I put Cesaro winning on my notes? I don't know why, but it's Ryback who actually won. Really, since Ryback returned as face, honestly, this has been probably one of the better matches he's been in since, like I said, he returned face. This one, on one hand, actually kept me entertained, mostly because it wasn't... I refuse to say the word squash match, because I typically don't use that term. But, especially for big men. But, basically, in a way, it wasn't that from Ryback, how it has been within the past 3 matches I think he had since he returned. Or 4. I think that makes his 4th one. But I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Especially if you're a wrestling fan, you should know. But this one, though, there's actually counters from both sides. Especially, you figured, from Cesaro. And no offense, I think they're actually WWE. From what I know, Cesaro said something backstage about his own company. And WWE's, and from what I think, WWE's actually probably punishing him for it. Oh, got my eyes, but... The winner this time wasn't as predictable as what you think would be. Because as I said before, Cesaro being part of Team Authority wouldn't be completely out of the question. Because as I said, you figured since Cesaro is heel, or at least to me he seems heel. I don't know about you guys. But he seems more fit to be part of the Authority. That's a good way of putting it. As I already said. And then you figured he would obviously win because, like I said, Kane was out there scouting for him for both sides, saying maybe, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, it wasn't predictable. You figured Cesaro went over Ryback, even though Ryback did just come back. But hey, Ryback won. That's probably, like I said, one of the better matches I saw Ryback in since he returned. And overall, Ryback won, and I give the match 2.5. And now this leads really to the next match tonight with 2 of my favorite stars that has been, well, not really has been around. Of course, you have R-Truth versus one of my newer favorites, Adam Rose. Now, this match to me, how much I like both stars, both superstars. This match is more of a filler match, as I might have said in Raw about one of the matches, or last Smackdown. I don't know exactly when it was. This match, though, was more for a comedic aspect. I guess to set up another feud or another reveal, I guess you could say. Because the comedy aspect, don't get me wrong, the dancing and stuff like that, I actually did kind of like it. Or Adam Rose doing his own version of "What's up?" But still. Why the fuck did I just yell that? I don't know. But basically, the highlight of this match was that the bunny caused Adam Rose to lose. Which basically, if you ask me, when Adam Rose pushed the bunny, which from what I've seen, he hasn't done that lately. From the last time I watched, and that's the first match the first match I've actually seen him in for a while, really causing him to turn on the bunny. Now, as I said before about the bunny, you kind of wonder who it is. And honestly, I do wonder who's actually under that. For my point of view, because like I said, I heard from who it could be, but now I don't think it's so much who it is. But overall, this this filler match was kind of enjoyable, especially with what happened between Bunny and Adam Rose, because you kind of wonder if there's going to be a feud between them, the Bunny wrestling or something. I highly doubt that, but you never know with WWE nowadays, because they're always trying to think of new, inventive ways to do it. But overall, this match, I liked it. I can't only say it's my favorite match of the night, so I give it a 1.5. Ah, shit, and hang on a minute. And I'm sorry. And by the way, I apologize for wiping my eye out. But, because to be honest, if you guys look how red it fucking is compared to this one, I don't understand why it's been like that since yesterday. And here's the thing for you viewers, if I'm not sick where I can't get out of bed or anything to record a video or whatever, then I'm going to do a video for you no matter what, whether it's something as simple as this. Honestly, I think this is just from lack of sleep, because my sleep schedule has been horribly out of whack lately. But enough on that. Back to my SmackDown review. This comes to the Peep Show with Dean Ambrose, and AKA, if you guys don't know for sure, or don't know that much about WWE, especially to you new people who might stumble across this and watch this. I don't know how many youngins I have watching this, so, but if I have youngins watching this, then Christian, of course, is the host of the Peep Show. Simple as that. And, of course, there was the Haven plug throughout the whole thing. And to be honest, I've got to be honest here. Much as I like Edge, or aka Adam Copeland, or however his last name actually is. I'm sorry to Edge fans. I'm an Edge fan myself, but I forget last names. If I know by their superstar name, I usually call them their superstar name. But Edge, or him being on Haven, much as I am an Edge fan, I've never seen Haven. But the weird thing is that with Christian being on it, I kind of actually wonder how Haven's actually is. So I might actually watch the episodes he's on. But overall, I suggest maybe some of you guys might want to as well, but I'm just saying. That's just me personally. But here's the thing with the Peep Shows. It seems like to me every time there is a Peep Show, when it's not someone... Here's the thing. When it seems like to me an impromptu Peep Show that doesn't really make sense to have on it, seems like he always gets interrupted. And actually it probably is true, so there you go. But this time around with Dean Ambrose being on it, other than creating more effects to the feud, and this is especially when Wyatt came out, but in a way, I agree with Ambrose. Where he has the point saying Bray, and here, where he said Bray likes to play mind games. And to be honest, he's basically the new age. I want to say this, but people might kill me or whatever, but I kind of want to say he's the new age Undertaker. In a way. He's creepy, he has that creepy vibe, even though he's the same way as Undertaker was too. They're supposed to be heel, which from what I've seen, Undertaker was more heel, but he always came out more neutral. Because and this goes same thing with Bray Wyatt, because the fans cheer him. I mean, it's the fans' right to cheer what they want, whatever. But my point taken though is, Bray doesn't really play mind games. He's pretty much to me a new age Undertaker, and I'm an Undertaker fan, so and Bray Wyatt fan. So either way, people will get pissed on me for saying that, but it was my opinion. Because here's the thing: when Bray came out there, he was trying to get Ambrose to join him. And then the point, and quite honestly, I would find it interesting if even though it would be recycled material, because of course we all know Daniel Bryan became part of the Wyatt family, but you still would wonder what would happen if Dean Ambrose actually did join the Wyatt family. That's just me. Especially with his Bray, of course, especially with his Bray Ambrose feud. And then the part where Wyatt, or Bray, however you want to refer him to, made the remark towards Ambrose about his dad. And this remark, I know it's probably for gimmick purposes, but you kind of wonder if it's true or not. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe if it was true, Ambrose probably, sometimes they might choreograph speeches, I know, because usually, I know Wyatt comes out and says stuff off the top of his head. since it's his own gimmick, but, you know. But the really part, too, with the mind game where the lights went out, and all of a sudden you see Ambrose there. And Bray behind him, he's yelling to Ambrose, "Run!" And all of a sudden the lights go out, and he's gone again. So overall, though, as I said before many times, I do want to see where this feud goes. Or feud, I should say, because I don't know if it's exactly a feud, because they really haven't had a match yet. It's more promos and stuff like that. And actually, too, from one of my friends on Xbox, even though I'm hopefully going to get a PlayStation here soon. Hopefully. I'm saying hopefully. They've actually said, too, that the Bray Wyatt stuff they played during Hell in a Cell, and I think these current promos are doing him where he interrupts and stuff like that, I think they're actually one of his older promos backwards. So, I actually find that interesting. I mean, you know, so there you go. And here's a subject, too, I want to talk on, where they showed Rusev being the U.S. champion. And I already gave my Rusev piece on Friday nights on Raw, and actually probably last SmackDown. Man, it might have been Raw. Pretty sure it was Raw and SmackDown. But Rusev being U.S. champion, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know the whole Russia thing's a gimmick, and from what I've heard in research, Rusev and Lana's actually Americans and are actually decent and good people outside of the wrestling business. And sorry if I'm off screen, but I'm scratching my leg. But here's the thing. I don't like Rusev being champion. Simple as that. Rusev isn't one of my favorite guys. But overall, in a way, you still have to respect them because, hey, the wrestlers, Americans at that, pulling off a Russian gimmick. I might not particularly like it, but hey. Then you have the Bella attack on AJ. I have nothing to say on that, so. Now here comes the next match tonight after all of those interviews and promos and stuff like that. Long, I know. But you have Natalya versus Summer Rae. And as I said before, the divas of today can't really fight. Probably other than Paige, AJ, and Natalya. Probably only 3 out of today's divas that can fight, in my opinion. But, and here's something I've actually want to talk on too that I never did. Summer Rae to me, with Layla, of course, company her. From what I've heard and from what I've seen, they seem like another version of Lay Cool. In case you don't know who Lay Cool was, they were Layla and Michelle McCool. And Michelle McCool's now married to Undertaker, so, hey, gotta give props to Undertaker there. Really, that's all I gotta say on them two. Sorry for the pause, too. But then you have Natalya and Tyson Kidd. And actually, I'm kind of glad WWE actually acknowledges their marriage. Which I think Tyson's real name's TJ, or at least that's his initials. And Natalya, of course, is Natalya. But I actually like how WWE does actually acknowledge their marriage. So that's all I gotta say. I mean, I know they do Daniel Bryan and Brie, but still. I don't think anybody really cares about that. I mean, yeah, but still. And this match, I really have nothing to say. This match is kind of boring. Other than, like I said, one of my favorite divas of now being in Natalya. But, really, here's what I don't understand, or where they're going with this Tyson and Natalya thing. Because on Monday Night Raw, had Natalya help Tyson win against Sheamus. This week, in a way, they seem to have Tyson cost Natalya. And with that, I really have nothing to say. So, yeah. Overall, though, it gives the match probably about a 1. Here comes part 2, where I don't know why I have this written down, but I figured it'd be interesting to talk about. The Triple H appeared on SmackDown during the Ziggler interview. And for some reason I have this written in the wrong spot, but here's the thing. When it comes to Triple H. From what I said about the Authority being nervous or worried before about Survivor Series, now that it's the Authority versus Team Cena, and if Team Cena wins, the Authority's out of power. Here's the thing, though, too. From being a Triple H fan, I also know from past experience that he's crafty. and he knows what he's doing, especially being the CEO, or I think is what he is. I'm probably too stupid to even know exactly, but whatever. I'm probably too stupid. Simple as that. Whatever position he is, because I don't pay attention to that half the time. I just know he's up with the corporate now. But with Triple H actually, though, appearing on SmackDown and talking to Ziggler really kind of says something here. And here's just my opinion. Authority may be worried, yes, and it may be nervous as well. Then again, it is scripted, but hey, it's a soap opera for men. Wrestling is, to be honest. And some women who like it as well, but still, my point taken though is I think the Triple H and Stephanie and probably the rest of Authority have a plan. And here's my opinion on what the plan they have. Since John Cena hasn't been on Raw or even per se SmackDown this week, and even though I know from what I know he's supposed to be back next week in the UK against Ryback, but from what I know is you really don't know who's on Team Cena yet, or as of currently. All but one person, that is Dolph Ziggler. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Ziggler too. But here's my point in this. Since you don't really know who else is on Team Cena, since, like I said, he hasn't been on the shows for the past about the past week, you don't know who's on it. So the Authority, in my opinion, their plan is to weaken at least one person within Team Cena. And that person ultimately would probably have to be Ziggler. Because, as I said, it's the only person you know who's on Team Authority. Well, there you go. And that leads me to the last match of the night, which is the duplicate match I was talking about. And obviously a repeat match I think we've seen 3 times within the past 2 weeks. And that is including tonight. Ziggler versus Kane. And by the way, before I say anything, Natalya versus Summer Rae, obviously Summer Rae won. If I forgot to mention who won, then I apologize. And if I didn't mention R-Truth versus Adam Rose, R-Truth won. So, there you go. I mean, I think a lot of it was implied, but if I forgot. But for this match, as I said, this is a repeat match we've seen, like I said, past 3 times within 2 weeks. And also the repeat match type. Now, this match, either I don't have a problem with other than, again, the first match of the night, the Steel Cage Usos versus Stardust and Goldust seemed to overpower this one, at least to me personally. But on the bright side, overall, I did enjoy the match, even if it was a repeat match. Or a repeat match type. But the thing of it is, when you do repeat matches like that, I'm pretty sure that's not good for business. And much I don't know about business, because no offense, I don't think people like to see the same matches all the time. But of course, the Steel Cage, you don't get that often, other than, I know, about a month ago on Raw, when it was, of course, Bray versus Jericho. But other than that, still. Again, I enjoyed this match, even though it is something typical you get from Kane and Ziggler. And obviously, the matches do tend to be somewhat different each time. It's not exactly the same. But mainly, and the ending was also something too, when Ziggler was, or at least for me, because I don't remember ever seeing that, where Ziggler climbed over the cage and ended up getting caught on the door and he was hung up. And of course, Ziggler ended up winning. Overall, Ziggler versus Kane within a Steel Cage, Ziggler winning, I give a 4.5 for tonight. So there you go. That's really all I gotta say. Overall, this SmackDown was decent. Not the best it could have had. Obviously, I like the Halloween special one better, but overall, this was pretty decent. But until next time, Rockers, Facebook, Twitter in the description. My match ratings are in the description if you missed me talking about it. And, well, until next time, live free and rock, Rockers.